Story 1. The man who asked if I was alone. I went on a solo camping trip in the wilderness of Upper Idaho when I was in my early 20s. It was something I had done many times before, and though I wasn't a survival expert, I had enough experience to stay safe. The area was deep in the woods, far from other trails and campsites, and was known for being home to black bears and the occasional grizzly. That meant most people avoided it. That's why I liked it. I set up my camp in a clearing by a small creek and spent the evening watching the fire and stargazing. It was a perfect night, calm, peaceful, just the sound of crickets and the occasional hoot of an owl. I didn't have a care in the world. Then, sometime after nightfall, I heard footsteps. Slow, steady, unmistakably human footsteps. A man emerged from the tree line. He was wearing a large camping backpack and looked like he had been hiking for a while. He stepped into the glow of my firelight, looked around the camp, and then looked at me. "Sorry," he mumbled. Then he turned and walked back into the forest. It was strange. He didn't seem threatening, but something about him unsettled me. Why was he hiking in the middle of the night? Why didn't he have a flashlight? Where was he going? I tried to shake it off. I told myself he was probably just a lost hiker trying to find a trail, but still, I kept looking over my shoulder as I sat by the fire. A couple hours passed. The fire was dying down, and I was starting to feel tired when I heard footsteps again. But this time, they were faster, harsher, like someone was running. The same man came bursting into the clearing. Only now, he looked different. His face was pale and streaked with dirt. His eyes were wide, filled with fear. He stopped near my camp and stared at me, breathing heavily. I stood up. I asked if he was okay, if he needed help. He didn't answer. Then he looked past me, over my shoulder, into the woods, and his expression changed from fear to confusion. He asked, "You're camping here?" Then again, "Why?" I didn't know how to respond. He looked back over my shoulder, then back at me. Then he said, "Is it just you? Are you alone?" I nodded slowly. His breathing grew more ragged. He kept glancing into the woods, like he was trying to see something behind me, or maybe trying to decide something. Then he asked, "Have you been following me?" "No," I said quickly. "I don't even know you." He didn't seem convinced. He looked scared and confused all at once. Then he said something that made my blood run cold. He asked, "Then why are you with her?" I froze. "What?" I asked. He looked over my shoulder again, staring into the trees. His eyes were locked on something I couldn't see, and without saying another word, he ran, full speed, straight into the woods. I turned to look where he had been staring, but there was nothing there, just darkness, just trees. But something about the silence felt wrong, like the woods were watching me, like there really had been someone standing behind me. I didn't sleep that night. I packed up my things, left the fire burning, and hiked back in the dark. I didn't care about the danger of walking alone through bear country. I just needed to get out. The next day, I went to the nearest ranger station and reported what happened. They said they'd look into it, but they never found anyone. Not the man, not anyone else. I still think about it sometimes. What did he see? Who did he think I was with? Was he hallucinating? Or was someone really out there in the woods with us? All I know is I wasn't alone, not really, and I've never gone camping by myself again. Story 2. The creepy Uber driver. I was visiting my friend in Dallas for a long weekend. We'd gone out to a few bars downtown, and it got pretty late. Too late to take the train, and I didn't feel like bothering my friend to pick me up, so I ordered an Uber. The driver's name was Kurt. He had good reviews and a solid profile. His car was a black Toyota Camry, and when he pulled up to the curb, everything checked out. Same plates, same make, same photo. But the moment I got in the back seat, something felt off. He didn't say hello. He didn't even glance at me. He just started driving. No music, no small talk, just silence. At first, I didn't care. Some drivers are just quiet, but after a few minutes, I noticed we weren't taking the normal route. I'd been to my friend's place many times before. This wasn't the usual way. I leaned forward and asked, "Hey, is there traffic or something?" Kurt didn't answer. He just kept staring straight ahead. Then he said in a low voice, "Don't worry, I know a shortcut." There was something about the way he said it. Not reassuring, almost rehearsed, like he'd said it many times before. I pulled up my Uber app to double-check the route, but the GPS wasn't showing the usual map. It just said, "In progress." And the little dot that represented our car was in the middle of nowhere. No road names, no landmarks, just empty space. I felt a chill run down my spine. I looked out the window. We were on a narrow two-lane road, surrounded by thick trees on both sides. No lights, no houses, no other cars. I asked again, more firmly, "Where are we going?" He didn't respond. Instead, he started humming, low and slow, like a lullaby. That's when I noticed his hands. They were trembling. Not like he was cold, like he was excited. I texted my friend my location, or at least where I thought I was. But I had no signal. The only thing I could think to do was act calm. So I said, "Actually, I just remembered. I left something at the bar. Can you take me back?" No response. I said it louder. "Hey, I want to go back. Right now." Still nothing, just that eerie humming. That's when I saw the knife. It was tucked between the driver's seat and the console, just barely visible in the dim light. Not a pocket knife. A kitchen knife. Long, sharp, used. I froze. My heart was pounding so loud, I thought he could hear it. Then he turned his head slightly, not all the way, just enough to see me in the mirror. And he smiled, not a friendly smile, a slow, curling, almost loving grin. I didn't wait. At the next curve in the road, I unlocked the door and jumped out. I didn't think, I just ran. I sprinted into the woods, branches cutting my face and arms. I didn't stop until I couldn't hear the car anymore. Eventually, I found a house. A light was on in the window. I banged on the door until someone opened it. A woman in her 50s called the police for me. When they arrived, they searched the area. But there was no sign of the car, no tire marks, no driver. And when they checked the Uber app, there was no record of my ride, no trip, no driver named Kurt, nothing. I don't know who that man was, but he wasn't an Uber driver, and I wasn't his first passenger, maybe just the first to get away. Story 3. The man outside my house. Every night, it started 3 weeks ago. Every night around 1 a.m., I'd hear footsteps outside my bedroom window. At first, I thought it was a raccoon or a neighbor's cat, but the sound was too deliberate, too human. Heavy, slow footsteps, pacing back and forth. The first time I looked outside, I didn't see anything, just darkness. But the next night, I saw him. A man, tall, wearing a hoodie with the hood pulled low. standing just outside the circle of light from the porch. Close enough to be seen, but far enough to hide his face. He didn't move, didn't say anything, just stood there, watching. I called the police. They came, checked around, and said they couldn't find anyone. They told me to call again if it happened. It did. The next night, and the next. Every night. Same time, same place. Eventually, I stopped calling the police. They never found him, and I started to feel like maybe I was going crazy. Like maybe I was dreaming it, hallucinating. But then I got the note. I found it on my front porch one morning, tucked under the welcome mat. A small, torn piece of paper. It said, "I like watching you sleep." That was it. No name, no signature. Just those 6 words. I installed cameras around the house the same day. One by the porch, one by the bedroom window, one near the driveway. The first 2 nights, nothing happened. The cameras didn't catch anything. Then, the 3rd night, he came back. But this time, he was closer, right outside the window. Face pressed against the glass. The footage was blurry, but you could see his breath fogging up the window and his fingers tapping slowly against the glass. 1, 2, 3, tap, tap, tap. I didn't sleep at all that night. I kept the lights on and sat in the living room with a kitchen knife in my lap. When the sun came up, I checked the cameras again. The footage was gone, only static. I didn't delete it. I didn't touch anything. It just vanished. That was the last time I saw him. No more footsteps, no more notes, nothing. But I know he's still out there. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, feeling like I'm being watched. Like there are eyes in the dark, just behind the curtains. And every now and then, when I check the window, there's a faint mark, a fingerprint, fresh. He's waiting. And I don't know why he stopped showing up. But I'm terrified of the day he decides to come back inside.